Hey, welcome everybody to the chess stream here. Sladgy on Twitch. International Master William Paschall. I'm doing Weird Wednesday today, so we're having unusual openings, challenges here on lichess.org. We've got challenges already from several players. Morales, Troll on a Roll, and Dear Santa Claus. Let's see, I've got lichess.org in the title, but I'm not seeing the stream showing up on lichess. That's kind of weird. It should pick it up pretty fast. Is our stream? There it is. I like how Chess Explained starts at exactly the same time as me. Alright. So, we've got Chess 960 today, or maybe one or two games of that, and we're just playing unusual openings. I actually, let's just keep it to the one game of Troll with the Chess 960. I had Chess 960 on my mind because I was just talking in the chat that I wanted to do a Chess 960 tournament next Tuesday. Every Tuesday night, I do a viewer tournament, and you know, Troll always wants me to do Chess 960 for, you know, simuls and stuff like that. I thought at least we can do a Chess 960 tournament. So next Tuesday's edition will be Chess 960. All right, we've got Morales, Troll, Dear Santa Claus, Soltigo, and Epitetos. Epitetos I haven't seen in a while. I think the last time was probably maybe in a simul. So good to see you guys who have returned after a while. Alright, Morales will be first, then Troll on a Roll. Actually, we should go by subscribers. Morales, Troll on a Roll, and then Clash Kid, and then Soltigo. If you guys do subscribe, I really appreciate it. We had a new subscription yesterday, Moppy, and that was I guess that was an Amazon Prime sub, but that's the first time we've had one of those in a while. I haven't got too many Amazon Prime subs. Yeah, Chess Explained is very instructive as well. Alright, we've got Morales here, and I'm supposed to be playing unusual openings. Usually I forget, but that's the theme for Wednesdays. I'd like to include like more gambits and stuff like that, if possible. I was thinking today what I'm going to play, briefly, and I was thinking oh man, I've got this Chess 960 obsession. I was thinking in the early morning, I should try to expand and play more different kind of weird openings and stuff, but I need to play probably more gambits, more interesting gambits here. Okay, this is this is a little bit of a problem. The French is always an issue whenever I whenever I play the Weird Wednesday trying to do unusual openings. I think I think the French is probably the most difficult because it's so closed in nature. All right. I guess you can do like a form of wing gambit, but let's do something different here. What if you do f3 against the French? Can you transpose to a kind of black Mardimer? I never really thought about it. It might be better to do it like against the winnower. d5, knight c3, bishop b4, then f3. Pawn takes pawn, and then just develop the pieces somehow. But I really have zero theoretical knowledge if that's even a viable thing. I think I'm just going to play this and sacrifice a pawn here somewhere. Either some kind of Nimzovich variation, or maybe we could do a Milner-Barry. But he has to cooperate. I was wondering about f3. Yeah, I mean, is it a move? Let's just... Well, I was going to say try knight f3, but if they don't take on d4, you can't play a gambit. That's the question. What do you do if they just play knight c6? You have to transpose back. There's no guarantee I can get a quote-unquote weird opening here. Can you play b4 in this position? It's a little too speculative. You know, I'll try to offer a pawn sacrifice here, and if he doesn't take it, then we'll try to play the Milner-Barry. But if he doesn't take that pawn, I don't know what I'm gonna do to force a weird opening. Epithetos, good to see you. Yeah, this is gonna be tough. He's not taking the pawn now. that looks a bit odd. Excuse me. I think that queen b6 is, you know, it's a pretty aggressive move, like even this early, if, you know, no matter what I do. But against knight f3, where I'm developing a piece rather than playing c3, it seems more risky than usual to play queen b6. It's tempting to do something like knight c3 here. We'll invent something, I guess. It's not exactly a gambit, but it's also not a standard line. Gives me a chance to play weird lines, though. Maybe queen b6 helps a little bit. Okay, we'll just come up with something original here. Mule Skinner plays the French. I guess Morales plays it. This stops any kind of knight b5 ideas. I think bishop d7 is a good move, stopping knight b5 and other strange ideas. Sadly, after that I have a bit of a problem. Maybe I could play, what am I thinking? Bishop e3, queen takes b2, knight b5. Bishop takes b5, rook b1. Queen c3 check. Bishop d2. I'm losing ground there. Queen a3, and then bishop takes b5 check. Playing it as a pawn sacrifice. I don't know what to do otherwise. Alright. This isn't really a weird opening, it's just making it up as we go along. In a semi-normal looking position. I don't know. I'm just on my own completely here. Okay, now we're playing a poison pawn type of gambit. Queen takes b2, knight b5. If he takes, we play rook b1. Two pawn sacrifice. Queen c3, bishop d2. Queen a3 takes a check. Okay, we're practically sacrificing two pawns for development. But he doesn't have to take, I guess, on b2. Yeah, just refresh the stream. That's what I would recommend. Anyway, welcome everyone. Last night we had a viewer tournament dominated by Aldisto. Santa Claus was second, and surprisingly, Soltigo was third. He played, I think, a record number of games in 2 hours. Soltigo, how did you play like 15 games in 2 hours and 7+2? I thought that was amazing. Yeah, just refresh the stream if you have any problems. It looks like we're good. We at least made him think here. Multiple pawn sacrifice. I doubt this is objectively sound. When he starts grabbing these pawns, he probably can keep one of them for a long time. Although there may be lines where there's like a draw by rep or something. Okay, knight c6. What was I thinking here? Knight a4. Queen a5 check c3. That's bad because he's got the bishop on d7. We can't do that. Taking on c5, bishop takes c5, knight a4, queen a5 check again. And again c3, he's got these nasty, nasty moves. So none of that stuff works. And my b2 pawn is hanging, basically. I think I'm just going to have to make a routine move here with like rook b1. Maybe there's some kind of Nigel Short a3. But if a3, pawn takes d4, knight takes d4, for example, pawn takes d4, knight takes d4. I mean, rook b1 seems... Again, we're going to run into pawn takes pawn, knight takes d4, bishop c5, knight a4, queen a5 check. Okay, I don't know what to do here. I'm going to play a3. Not a lot of time left. Somebody said knight b5. Not in this position, I don't think. There are knight b5 ideas. But I don't know. Not enough time to really fathom what's going on here. Queen takes b2, knight a4 wins a queen, obviously. I think Short first popularized. Was it Short? Doing that in the normal, like, classical poison pawn variation. I don't know why Short is coming to mind, but I had a feeling it was him that played some games with White, oddly. Short is a renowned French player, of course. Well, speaking of Short, the tournament in Gibraltar started. There were some interesting results. All the Hungarian women like drew 2700s. Aronian drew with Anita Gara. Tizia Gara drew with Short. And Pop Petra drew with another really high rated player. Like the Hungarian women's team was like undefeated paired up in round one. Another interesting result was Daniel Dubov lost. I think I think the guy's Irish. He got absolutely crushed in a very kind of primitive attack. Yeah. And so lots of kind of upsets and semi-upsets. In the first round of Gibraltar. I mean, it's a strong tournament. There are really no weak players, as opposed to like the Reykjavik Open or something, where there's like 1800s playing in the round one, or even lower, which I don't like. Nothing against you guys who are 1800, but I don't think all the players should be in like the same section. Okay, now bishop takes c4, d takes c4, d5. Is this even good for me? Probably just helps black ultimately. Freeing his position. Bishop takes c4, just trading pieces, giving him a really dominant white squared bishop after d5, d takes c6. It's like playing a combination for the sake of being fancy and playing a combination, but being like ignorant about the actual result of the combination. Bishop takes c4, probably no good. You saw a woman in two. You saw a woman in two. I think it's just grammatically he's a little sketchy. The troll. He's doing like a magician act where he saws a woman in two. See? That's what he's talking about. All right. Bishop g5. There's going to be too much pressure on the d4 pawn in that line. Yeah, I think I'm going to get rid of this. Just the way this position works. I have a space advantage, but black's still solid. I hate taking the knight on h6, but it was going to be so dominant and difficult to remove on f5 that I decided it was the best practical chance. Now I can put his, well, his rook on g4 is pretty annoying. But wait. Oh man, I'm gonna drop a pawn here. Good job, me. What is going on? I'm just gonna lose on time. Wow. Just totally outplayed me. Just totally outplayed me. I'm just clearly worse here. Alright, good game. Good game, Morales. I lost on time, but it's justified. My position is really, really bad. I was reaching out to make the best move. That's the only redeeming thing about this position. I was about to play knight a4, but I lost the thread completely. Maybe bishop takes h6 was bad. I don't know. It looks like I could have played b3 on the queen side. I think I lost my advantage with bishop takes h6. And then, man, it fell apart fast here. I should just castle, but I played g3. Or I could have played b3 with activity on the queen side. After this move, I still could have played b3. But he finds this f6, which is strong. Still, I had 10 chances to play b3 with some play, but now I'm just crushed. After bishop takes f6, it's very bad. Alright, Morales, good game. Troll in a Roll is going to be next, chess 960. Yeah, I don't know. Interesting opening. I didn't have time to really check it out with the opening explorer there. I just lost on time. I'm about a pawn down. Maybe it's not like hopelessly lost, but it's not a good position. Alright. I love starting with a loss. Yesterday in the tournament, I drew the first round. Where's Santa on the challenge list? My neck hurts. He's right there. He's right. Actually, it's a good question. Where is Santa on the challenge list? Well, he's not a subscriber. You know, so he'll be like where he is, basically, in the current position. All right, g3, f5. Well, the first game of the morning, I am pretty slow. Hopefully, we'll do better. Yeah, bishop takes h6. But if I don't play bishop takes h6, he's got knight f5. The point was that I had this b3 idea, and I didn't really see how... I wasn't thinking of offensively enough. How I need to really seize the initiative there. That could be a flaw in my game. Maybe I have a tendency to go too passive. I mean, I'm always thinking about defense and prophylaxis. Probably too much so. It's just that I wasn't developed. My king was still in the center of the board, so I'm normally like looking to complete my development before I start active operations. Like the computer wanted to play b3. But I underestimated his rook transfer to g4. I mean, I underestimated rook takes g6 and the whole idea of rook g6, which is funny because it's something that I would see with black for sure. But once I play g3, my position starts to go down the hopper. g3 is just a waste of time. I mean, I could have played castles. I need to just play faster and trust intuition more. This is something that I've been talking about to people. I think it's possible that streaming and playing a lot of increment has actually made me slower and made me have more trouble with time pressure and more addicted to getting into time pressure. So I'm going to make a conscious effort not to get into the really bad time pressure. You're back, but the stream is still not good for you. Never mind, guys. Everything is cool. He's like, yeah, in the second sentence. All right, this way we can put his rook on h8. That doesn't help him. Just play more on intuition, less calculation. Last opening was interesting though. I doubt it's really correct for white, but I wanted to play something unusual. Don't let me forget next game to start to focus on playing unusual openings again. When we play Chess 960, there are no openings. But since Troll is a subscriber, I'm going to let him play at Chess 960. That's his favorite. So we'll honor him on that request. Okay, I'm just going to try to control the center with this Ray T type of pawn structure. Though I could potentially become kind of backward on these lines. No, I mean, Antonio, I know c4. I got that feeling too. You know that if you played c4, you've kind of lost the opening battle. But my pieces aren't placed that well either. You know, the bishop's on e2. But I saw knight f5 and started to panic. I wanted to play bishop g5 instead of bishop takes h6. But I guess you have a lot of moves there. You might even be able to play f6 yourself. Alright. My king is on c1, which is a bit strange. I guess we can castle either side. But I'm not sure it's... Well, it's probably worth paying attention to where he puts his king. You know, now... Exactly, now... Castling queenside becomes more viable for me, although... Realistically, I have more weaknesses than he does. I played c4. These squares are totally... I'm using a different mouse, and I've enabled the possibility to draw straight lines and not drop pieces, which is good. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in here. We're trying to play unusual openings, but this is Chess 960 where there are no openings. There is no side of the board in this variant of chess. There's only one side, the whole board. My queen is a bit oddly placed, and I don't know what to do about it. I mean, queen f2 seems like a strange move. There just is no really good place to put my queen. Maybe e3, creating even more weaknesses in my structure. Is black threatening to play d5 around here somewhere? Alright, maybe we'll basically try to eliminate defenders around his king with knight e5. This also influences the center by unleashing the bishop from hell. What's that? Who you fan had a bad tournament? Dude, I think it's like self-confidence. You know, okay, she's probably not as strong as the other players in the tournament, but she's proven herself, you know, for the most part, to be probably worthy of her rating. I think there's a great deal of psychology involved. She's a wealth of experience, but I mean, I've seen her throw some endgames really badly. Last year, like, she lost to Carlsen in a drawn king and pawn endgame, and again this year there was a king and pawn endgame. It makes you wonder if there's not a kind of component in her game, that endgame, you know, technique. That's not really 100%. But I think that the result overall is is like psychological. Once you start losing games, you lose all the self-confidence and belief in yourself. I mean, it's really really hard. Okay, bishop b7. I was thinking knight b5 here. This seems really coffee house and kind of materialistic. You think she's already as good as Polgar was in her best times? That's possible. Polgar, the Polgar. Okay, Udit was stylistically kind of one-sided, I think. Very tactical. Knight takes c6 followed by knight a7 check? What am I going to do? Like, do I get that piece trapped on a7? I wish my queen was on f2. Knight takes... Knight takes, pawn takes, and I've got to go back to c3. Maybe I don't want to open the d file for black. Good morning. What's up? Juicebox, thanks for subscribing. Thanks to all you guys for subscribing. Yeah, well, speaking of Hungarian women chess players, the girls are doing really well at Gibraltar. I haven't seen the games yet. Anita Gara apparently drawing with Aronian. That's pretty impressive. I mean, she's about the same rating as me. I think I'm higher lifetime, but still, you know, for a player about my rating to draw with Aronian, that's like 400 points difference. Yeah, Carlsen, well, Giri won again, by the way, against Matlikov, who's been playing really good chess and really solid throughout. You know, he's not easy to take down. Giri winning basically like a kind of drawish endgame. I didn't get to spend a lot of time on it. It looks like it should have been a draw, but somehow Matlikov lost. I mean, Giri didn't really do anything special. It just looked like a solid game, and somehow Matlikov lost, and equalish were tiny bit worse in an endgame, you know, that he probably shouldn't have lost. So Giri, a little bit like lucky in a sense. Magnus seems like he's in, you know, professional mode. He's just like mowing down the lowest rated players in the group and then drawing with everyone else. Which is kind of like what you're supposed to do. Alright, Troll is coming after my king here. I'm not sure castling actually makes a whole lot of sense here. My queen wants to go somewhere. I just don't know what to do with it. And I don't really want to weaken my structure anymore. It's a strange situation. Alright, I'm going to put my king over here. I don't know if that's a good square. You could castle, but then my king ends up in the same place, you know, pretty much. Maybe something like rook c1 and then trying to open up the c file for me. How though? Playing for c5, knight b5 tricks. I'm just really not very much more, you know, I'm not well developed here. I don't know how to get my queen in the game. I don't want to take on c6 and open up the d file for him, so I'm just kind of stuck hanging out here. Maybe black can even take on e5. I'm gonna have to think about that. Like take. And then he can try to attack my e5 pawn or break with d6 or something. Yeah, I'm worried about Hu Yufan's endgame. You know, she probably needs to take like a year and just focus on studying endgames. She'd probably raise her level quite a bit. Um, I mean, it sounds ridiculous for a player of my rating to say that, but really, I mean, it's been many games where she struggled in endgames. She seems like she's very, very strong in other facets of the game. Um, I don't know, what is her like team, or you know, who are her coaches and stuff like that. I have no clue about Hu Yufan. Does she have like Chinese players as coaches, or you know, it's a question I just don't know the answer to. Um, I'm not going to take on b7 because I feel like the black king is actually safer on b7. You know, this way I have cheapos like mate on a8. That's a concrete reasoning. Doesn't really matter if my rook's on g1 or h1. I think it's a lot of nerves. Maybe Hu Yufan just like gets nervous and chokes. You know, I mean, in these end games, maybe it's not a question of like knowledge. It's just a question of getting stressed and like blundering or something. I have to defend the pawn, obviously. On paper, white looks a little better, but I'm not sure. Yeah, the d6 is really double-edged. I have queen c6, but then just king b8. Good game. I think it's pretty close to equal. It's hard to say. Wow, e5 is very double-edged move. Risky for both sides for Troll to play e5. Though strategically, that looks like a good move. It's also got some downsides. I mean, giving me a powerful pass pawn at d5, sort of like pass pawn. I don't know what you call it exactly. Good game by Troll. I have no idea what to do. h3, anybody? Okay, I'm about to flag as well. e4 I didn't expect. Oh, didn't see that. Damn it. I'm just looking at 93. Now I'm gonna have to like try to play this exchange down. I lost one game already today. You guys are not giving me a break. Dude, why are you resigning, Troll? Oh my god. It's resigning in a winning position. Okay, he's happy with his accomplishment. He doesn't want to lose on time. I don't end game. Alright. He doesn't end game. He ended the game, though. He resigned in a winning position. Alright. Nice game though. Maybe I'm just getting worse, but I think this was a good game. Like, relatively speaking, for chess 960, I mean. Blundered here with h3. I didn't see the knight. How did I allow it? Yeah, I didn't see the knight fork on f2. He could have also taken on d4. I didn't see this move though. That's a cute move. All right, not an easy start today. Let's go play Clash, kid. Man. I don't end game, I end games. He just resigned. He was satisfied. He didn't want to mess it up. He said, I have a winning position. I'm just going to resign and lock it up, you know, for into the annals of history. I'm a little bit sleepy. I didn't see knight f2 at all. That's really, really bad. I was so concerned about like a knight coming to e3 that I overlooked the fork. It is morning. Okay, against Clash Kid here. Yesterday this guy played this annoying bishop b5 against me in the tournament. I can't stand that move. It makes me crazy. Difficult to play against. Probably like equal, but at least this is more interesting. Okay, I wanted to learn some kind of new system in the Richter Rouser with black. I'm supposed to play unusual openings and I forgot. Damn it. All right. You guys are probably reminding me now. Isn't this weirdo Wednesday? It is. The problem is this chess 960 with troll. The chess 960 with troll totally messed me up. It just takes me out of thinking about Weird Wednesday. All right. Anyway. Well, we're off theme for this game. First game we tried to play a weird gambit in the French. We had a frustrating time trying to do that. It's not easy to get weird openings unless you try a little bit. Here we just forgot. But anyway, let's just play the game normally. At this point, it's a little late for anything like that. Bishop e2. Well, bishop e2 is totally non-theoretical. I guess we should play h6 or something, huh? But if I play h6, bishop e3, I just end up in a Scheveningen where I played h6. That doesn't make sense. Next game, I'm going to start playing weird openings. Troll, yeah, you are messing up the stream with your obsession about chess 960. I agree. Now what? What is the point here? It's like a normal rouser where white played bishop e2. If there's bishop e2 in, you know, I don't really want him to double my pawns in f6 because there's the bishop h5 strategic idea where that bishop wedges itself on h5 against the doubled f pawns. That's usually quite a good thing for white to establish. Serbia and Santa Claus saw I was pissed off yesterday. I don't think the guy was cheating, Serbia and Santa Claus. I just think, yeah, I should be cool. No, what pissed me off was something else. There's this you know, there's always the question of whether people are cheating, but at some point somebody recently like started to criticize me for constantly talking about computer cheating, and I had a disagreement with someone about that, and you know, it's possible this was even related. Um, I was more pissed off about an argument like with one of the trolls in the stream. I made a comparison, and then somebody immediately started spouting off with some stupid, you know, political correctness stuff. It was just, I don't know. I was tired. Not like anybody was concretely cheating in the tournament. It wasn't about that, and I try to be more cool about it than I used to be. If people do cheat, but you know, it still bothers me. I didn't think there was anybody like concretely in our tournament who was cheating. He could have been, though. I mean, he had like 11 games. I just don't want to play like new accounts who have like less than 50 games, basically. But you're right. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Santa Claus. I mean, we shouldn't get upset about it. I don't want to get upset about it if I think people are cheating. We can just be cool about it. It was more of the discussion that followed that pissed me off, not the actual, you know, question whether anybody's cheating or not. But anyway, I don't want to rehash it now. I'm over it. Well, I wanna make a suggestion to lichess to at least, of course, the tournament's open. I can make a private tournament, but there should be, I want to make a feature suggestion that there should be a setting when you create a tournament, just like regular tournaments, where you know, people aren't allowed to play if it's like less than 15 rated games or something like that. I have a question though. I mean, there are no unrated tournaments, right? I mean, normally run by lichess, casual tournaments. Well, anyway, that's my point though. It should be like a feature, like to make it so that we can enable it. So I'm gonna make this suggestion, just setting minimum 15 games, like, or 25 games or whatever to play in the tournament. It's very easy for them to add that kind of feature to private tournaments, and I think it would be, you know, I mean, that's what they do in normal tournaments anyway, so why should the private tournaments be any different? I mean, let's just eliminate these like totally random new accounts that come in with 0 games, trolling the stream and like kind of destroying the tournament, you know. I mean, it sort of takes the fun out of it. So I think it's like a minimum thing they could do. No problem. You know, the programmers could easily just add this feature where you just tick off a box, check like 15 games or more to play in the tournament. I mean, that's the easiest way to kind of deal with the situation. I wanna just suggest that. I'd also like to see there be more time controls, you know. I mean, there's basically no reason why there should be like only 7+2. What do you think about responding Queen A5 automatically to Bishop G5 in this game? I think it might be something. It's normal in the Bishop D7 variations. Yeah, maybe you have something there, Morales. In the Bishop D7 instead of E6, Queen A5 is the main line. So, if we play E6 instead of Bishop D7, is there anything he can do? There's no like Knight B5. I think you're probably right, Morales. We should try to take it out. Eliminate the evil at its source here. Trying to make 2 moves in a row. Yeah, I don't think the bishop takes f6 is a big deal. If he has to play it that early, I mean, that's totally standard to allow bishop takes f6. We almost have a tactic here, but it's kind of complicated. Knight takes e4. Knight takes e4, bishop takes g5. Nope. Knight takes e4, knight takes e4, knight takes d4. None. There's no tactic. Clash Kid has played one or two other games like this against me very similarly. I've never seen anything like this set up in the books. Recommended for white, but it's just a playable sort of thing. Now he has to deal with the threats. I could go knight g4 here, couldn't I? But bishop takes g4, knight takes g4. Now hold on a second. Knight g4, bishop takes, knight takes, bishop f4, e5, knight d5, queen d8, and then f3 at the end of the day. Doesn't work for me. I'd like to grab his two bishops, but he has take bishop f4 and then e5 knight d5, and then he'll counterattack my knight on g4 with f3. With this dominating knight on d5, he has a really good position. So I don't see anything there. It's just like a Scheveningen English attack type of thing here, where I have a fairly decent development, I guess. His king doesn't know where it belongs. Castle queenside or like castle kingside, or put it on f2. He can't castle kingside now. I mean, he's allowed to, but he could play g4 and try to put his king on like f2, I guess, if he really doesn't want to castle queenside. Or just play king f2. Looks like a reasonable plan. As I mentioned in the not so distant past, it seems like Clash Kid has become quite a strong endgame player. Speaking of Hu Yifan. But I don't think in the Sicilian I should really reject an endgame such as this. We have good play on the c file, and in the endgame, okay, he's still going to have some attacking chances on the king side, but I think we can mitigate that defensively and just play with a small advantage on the queen side. Two bishops should be worth something long term. I'm having yeah, I like your idea, Antonio. I want to look at that. It might very well be the best move for me to do queen a5 immediately. I never recall like seeing bishop e2 in any of the books I have on the classical Sicilian, but it's got to be a playable line for white. Makes complete sense. It's just a solid kind of non-critical variation. Maybe we could sack an exchange here, but that looks a little bit over the top. Unfortunately, yeah, he's playing basically like Anatoly Karpov would play. d5 doesn't work without allowing an isolated pawn. It's very hard for me to get efficient counterplay here. Rook b8. Just looks too slow. What about d5? Pawn takes pawn, rook takes c3. He's even got an intermezzo there. Pawn takes pawn. Okay, I don't know what to do. Going off on a tangent here. But we can disturb his peaceful little Garden of Eden in the center, maybe with some bishop a5 or bishop b6 ideas. But I do have to watch for his kingside threats now, because they're still there. I think he doesn't have g5. Wow, he did it anyway? What? I don't know if this is a intentional sacrifice or a blunder. He has h6, maybe rook g1. There are still possibilities here for white. I was even thinking about g4, but truthfully I should probably try to just hold the line here, because those lines where like I play g4 look kind of unclear. I don't know if he just blundered or he really intended this as a sacrifice. It's interesting. If he does h6, I don't know whether to play g6 or just ignore it. I think I've got to be winning now. But I really have to be gifted a win in order to beat you guys. It seems like. I lost to Morales. I had a lost position against Troll. This wasn't easy. I think Clash Kid was more or less equal when he did g5. Last night was a bad tournament for me. A lot of tough games there too. But I don't know. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not. Self-righteous, ominous monkey. What's up, guys? Thanks for joining the stream here. I think we're just winning. Oh, he has knight d1. Damn it. Everything's protected. Alright, no A file for you. Bishop d4, wow. That is pretty irritating. Not at all easy. He's defending brilliantly. He was threatening knight c4 there, which is really nasty. I have to take with the pawn. And now what do I do? Man, look at those knights. I'm not even sure if I'm better here. This is like a brilliancy by him. Wow. Just getting massively outplayed. I'm like paralyzed. Just paralyzed totally. Now, good game. Just totally crushed. Wow. Apparently I was okay here. I don't even know what happened. Like 1 minute I'm like winning, and next minute I'm just lost. One minute I'm like up 2, and then I'm just lost. Here I could have played e5 apparently, but it was so ugly strategically that I didn't know what to do. Clash Kid says he's not good at blitz, but I'm not so sure. All right, I've got to play Juicebox Wizard and Soltigo. Really good game. I mean, I guess I was better, but 2 pawns better, according to the engine. I just started to fall apart. Didn't know what to do. All right, knight a3 is a good weird opening. That kind of beats me to the punch here. I'm not interested in your knight, that's for sure. f5. I could play f5. Let's play f5. We'll make it fun. It's a king's gambit where you play knight a6. Yeah, Nefedov. What's up? Is he here? I don't see him on... I don't see Nefedov on... I guess he's not here today. He's probably working. Alright, some people have that problem that they have to go to work. I wonder about that, though, if you should play knight f3. Maybe you should just go like g4 here. I don't know. Knight c6. It's a king's gambit where he's got the extra move knight a3. Just playing intuitively. Man, we fell apart against Clash Kid. God. Okay, I didn't like having to take with the f pawn on f6. You know, and leave my knight on h7. But I thought, okay, I'm up a pawn. My king is safe. The guy takes over the a file and then crushes me. Man, that was really damn, dude. Now knight g5. Juicebox Wizard is certainly aggressive. But I think I should just play d5 here. Got to reinforce the center. White's pieces have amazing mobility in this position. Look at the bishops on c1 and f1. Knight on a3 could come into b5 at some point. But I've been impressed by Juicebox Wizard. For his rating, he seems quite strong. Maybe occasional blunders being the only problem. That's pretty much the only thing I'm good at, is like not making like one move blunders. H5. H5 is double-edged, but it would disable his pawns. I don't think I'm castling kingside after this. I'm not interested in taking the knight on a3. E4, f5 is not unusual, though. Well, I had a student, I was going over this yesterday, the Fred. It's very popular. It's like a cult opening. Not unusual in 1 minute chess, I would think. You know, it's got to be a reasonable opening for like 1-0. But it's, I mean, what is it, like a cult bug house opening? I mean, are there any books where this has actually been seriously ever, you know, some unusual opening manual? Bozo's Chess Emporium? I'm sure there's been discussion about the Fred, but Juicebox Wizard just blundered with like h3. I guess he just thought he was protecting his pawn. That's what I said earlier. He seems really good, but he'll make like 1 or 2 like gross blunders, which seem out of character for the rest of his game, which is pretty decent. I mean, he came out really. I really even like the conception of knight a3 and then playing knight g5, and all of his pieces look good, but on g5, I guess g5 h5, he just has to take on h5, or even play bishop e2. Okay, I mean, there are ways to play the Fred. Like Shirazi would do it after knight c6 in blitz. E4, knight c6, knight f3, f5 is like a very much improved version. Let's see, bishop d6, take, queen b3, queen b6, something like that. Okay, he basically, just like Clash Kid with g5, made a blunder with the g4 situation. But maybe he can recover like Clash Kid did. I'm not having a good day. Seems like everyone is good. You guys. I mean, this should be winning for black, but the way I'm running today, it's not like I feel too confident. Okay, knight b5. We can just play a6. Juicebox Wizard is running out of gas. I guess I can almost trap his knight on g5, but not quite. But I'd also like to complete my development here. Not really clear where I should put my king, you know. It's also amazingly difficult to attack that knight. If rook h5, he just has queen d2, and I have no discoveries ever on the knight on g5. I guess I play the very strange like knight d7 or something. He'll just play queen d2 and eventually play h4 if he has to defend it. Not that easy for black to find a plan here. I don't know. I mean, I have some ideas of e3. And once again, I don't really want to castle queenside here. Maybe g3 disrupts him. I might just be enlivening all of his pieces though with this move. Maybe I had this like a move earlier. Would have been a lot stronger. This seriously would have been a lot stronger before. He's blockading like a positional genius. Knight 93, his structure is good. It's like every single game is tough. I expected queen d2. I think that's a little bit better because here I have sacrifices. Queen e2 is much more constructive than playing h4. I might even be able to sack my queen on g5 or sack my rook on h4. And now I'm definitely going to castle queenside. But there's some open lines now that didn't exist before. Plus I can take on f1. So he made a very serious mistake playing h4 instead of queen d2. Knight takes f1 is going to mess up his king safety. But I'm not sure I should take it right away. Maybe I should wait a moment. I am also threatening rook takes h4. Sort of threatening to play rook takes h4 when his king will be wide open for a very, very minimal investment. But I think he's miles better than your average 1400. Weird Wednesday is supposed to be playing unusual openings today. I did forget for one game there. Now there's not even any. Yeah, I think he's got a good blockade now. I guess I should think about bishop g4. But then he's all about knight e3 again. Bishop g4, knight e3, rook takes h4 is kind of interesting. But he has other good moves here. Queen f4. e3 sacrificing a pawn to open lines. This is a little crazy. I had a hallucination. I forgot his rook was protecting c2. Maybe you can take with the queen there. In fact. And hallucination. Now he has like king f2, queen takes g5. I'm not even sure that's definitive. Yeah, I see he just like dropped a piece. If he could stop this sort of one move blunders, because the rest of the game looked really, really decent, you know. The opening is obviously weird, but his positional play is good. Strategically, he's good. But hanging a piece there. White, maybe he just panicked. I mean, it looks like White actually has king f2 here. King f2. Rook takes h4, maybe. King f2. Maybe he dismissed it because his king is out in the wide open, but we just have to calculate, you know. So I'm winning. I'm up a piece. I don't know about this move though. Should be okay. Take. We're up a knight in an endgame. We've got rook takes h4 and saving our knight. That's all that matters. At least it was a fun game. King f2, queen takes g5. I wasn't sure though because of, does he get enough material in the end there, you know? We can look at that after the game's over. I wouldn't mind. That is an interesting moment. His knight is almost trapped here. Almost, but no cigar. Okay. If I hang a rook, I'm gonna lose. Most likely. Alright, let's get our knight back to a decent place and then think about how to handle this. We're up a piece. I mean, I know that it's trivial, but we should really try to play accurately. Rook on the 7th. If king b3, knight a5 check. Now he's tied down. So I think we try to checkmate him, basically. You can have the pawn, right? We've got a whole extra piece. Still no immediate mates. b3. Okay, b3, knight a3 looks pretty nasty. Alright, he resigned. So let's see. Wonder if this has ever been played. Knight a3. Nah. We're not going to find any games. Man, it's not letting me analyze the game. Let's try to refresh. Wait. Oh, that's a rematch button. What is that? I don't want to play a rematch. I want to analyze the game. Alright. Thanks everybody for watching and subscribing. I'm not sure if f5 is a great move. No games found? Come on. That's impossible, dude. I mean, Zvygintsev plays knight a3 against the Sicilian. How the hell are there no games found? Are you serious? Okay, this lichess opening explorer is supposedly master games, which means that both players technically have to be like 2200. I guarantee you that knight a3 has been played by reasonable players. I decided to be, you know, kind of creative here. You should just take on h5. This is just a blunder. And now knight b5 was a waste of time. I should have played e3. It looks like something direct. Yeah, so here I thought you had queen d2, but there's something wrong with it? Oh. I said he should have played queen d2, but I have e3, which actually wins a piece, ironically. Okay. Yeah, I might have seen that, but probably not. So this turned out to be better than I thought, and he had to play h4. and I took time out to castle queenside. This actually doesn't work because you can take here. I'm up a pawn at maximum after that, like at this stupid double pawn on d5. This was a bad idea, but anyways. So here, he castled queenside. Apparently this doesn't work. Because of rook takes h4. Okay, queen takes g5 is interesting as well. I just thought I was hanging a lot of pieces, you know. Morales, I thought, okay, I'm dropping lots of guys after knight takes f5, but he's down too much. He is just down in exchange here. Alright, guys. Alright, next game, Mule Skinner. Then I'll play, like, I don't know, Epithetos, you're not a subscriber, are you? No. I'll try to play the rest of these guys. We're starting with Mule Skinner, who's a subscriber. Then maybe like Santa Claus and Soltigo. And thanks for subscribing, guys. Mule Skinner plays the French. We've got him on Wednesday. I'm just going to play like a weird move on move 1 against him because it's too difficult to deal with the French defense. It's like, what do they do? Like e4, e6. I could play e5. I saw that recently. That's stupid. Let's just play the Polish opening. I prefer a3 to bishop b2. I do play this with black more than white in blitz. What am I trying to do? Troll, what did you do? Knight a3. Knight a3 can't be that bad of a move. I mean, you're white. It's certainly playable against the Sicilian. At worst, white is like equal, probably. Mule Skinner, was it you that I played this against last time? Because that's what suddenly started crossing my mind. Like, I had a game last week against somebody in this exact opening. Was it you? Because that would be absolute coincidence. I didn't think about it at all before the game, but it might have been Mule Skinner. In fact, I'm beginning to think it was. I think it's even it's actually the game with Mule Skinner from last time is actually the thumbnail for my last video from last Wednesday, I think. In fact, this exact position. And utter coincidence, you know. Maybe it was the same thing, like I just didn't want to play against the French. I'm like, what's the most weird thing I can do on move 1? So we had exactly the same game. Mule Skinner overextended himself a little bit in the center, and Stockfish liked my game. Why is the bad opening? Alright, e3, knight f6. We don't have a lot of choices, actually, in how to play this. Kind of a narrow path. Last time it was like c6, knight c3, d4. c6, knight c3, d4, c5. That was the game. And c5 was a new move, theoretically. Mule Skinner should try to be more conservative. With an extra tempo and colors reversed, the d4 is quite interesting, but I think it's asking too much when you're black. It's actually, well, I don't know what you call this. No, the Polish, it's still a Polish, right? He's doing it anyway. The engine liked 92 immediately, but I still prefer this. Mule Skinner repeating the game. Stockfish said after 92 I have like an advantage. It's just better for white. Not a big one, but something. So you might be surprised. I mean, some of the spectators out there might be surprised that white is actually better here. after this move. So Sokolsky, you know, Sokolsky was Russian. I'm not sure where the terminology Polish opening comes from. I am right about Sokolsky being Russian, right? Troll, can you back me up on that? You're going to turn around and tell me that Sokolsky was Polish? It's also called the orangutan. I think like Tartakova or someone made that up. Gladys Troll has no idea. Nefedov would know. He's a chess historian. So D3, I'm just kidding. He's not a chess historian, but he's like Russian, and he knows Russian chess history on the level of the typical taxi driver in Moscow or something. But you know, if you learn chess in a Russian culture, you probably know if Sokolsky is Russian or not. I was pretty sure, but now I'm having doubts. That was a fun game, Juicebox Wizard. Well, I think that knight a3 is not so bad. I wasn't happy with the way I played, though. I made a lot of inaccuracies. I'm not really well focused today. I'm trying, but maybe I had too much coffee or something. I don't know. We had a rough time last night in the tournament, but more or less because I was a little bit slow. This chair is too low. I need to move up. Maybe I'm too close to the screen. Mule Skinner overextended, which tells me that Mule Skinner didn't analyze the game from last week. Because if he went into this again, here Stockfish thought that bishop takes f6 is actually a good move. I was of a different opinion. Bishop takes f6, g takes f6, knight d4, bishop e5. I've given up a very, very strong long-range piece. I didn't run Stockfish extensively, but I felt like I was kind of cashing in my chips there with bishop takes f6. He took on g3, so this is some kind of home analysis. Now here you have to be careful, because if you take with the f pawn, good luck, you know, with that bishop on f1. We've got to enable f3 enabled. You know, that's, if f3 is not enabled, we've got no bishop for the rest of the game, basically. But I don't think this is what Stockfish recommended. I think that Stockfish recommended an improvement later on. Like, Mule Skinner castled and I played f3. And then he played something like knight d7. And then I attacked his queen and he moved it to the wrong square. Something like that happened. It just didn't like the square he moved his queen to. This I'm talking about, we had the exact same game last week. But I'm feeling like, okay, maybe Mule Skinner had a different solution here. I think he's just making this up. Basically forcing me to make the move I have to make. He didn't do his homework. That's what I'm thinking. He figured, oh, I'll never play that again. I'll never have to play against that opening again. Not knowing that this is my best Weird Wednesday opening, probably. With both colors, I've played the St. George in 5 or 6 tournament games successfully, losing only 1 out of 5 or 6. Winning the rest. I don't think there was ever a draw. But this is starting to look gruesome. hypermodernism at its best. Strong knight, strong bishop on b2, bishop pair, strong center. My king can go to like f2. Actually, my king can go anywhere. It could castle queenside, go to f2. Rapport should start playing the Sokolsky. Bishop g4 is not good. Just giving me a tempo. So Sokolsky was Russian. Nefedov is here. Yeah, I knew you'd know. Nefedov, you're not logged into... Nefedov must have a... He must have a Smurf account on... He must have a Smurf account on lichess because he's not logged in on lichess. He snuck into the stream. Yeah, so... I don't know why the Sokolsky is called the Polish. But wait a minute. Let's think logically now. Was Tartakover Polish? Tartakover's Russian as well, right? I don't know the mystery of why it's called the Polish. And we have so many good moves here, I don't know where to begin. I think I'll begin with this one, though. Oh, this is gruesome. You might want to shield your eyes from the rest of this. The rest of this is definitely PG-13. Mule Skinner is not having a good time here. He didn't do his homework on this variation. I think you can play this, but once again, like the engine recommends, bishop takes f6. I don't know about this, and maybe this is good, but it looks lame. So I like keeping my bishop, knight d4. Wow, so Stockfish did recommend for a second bishop takes g3. It's still recommending it. It's saying I should take with the h-pawn. That's a good one. H-pawn. No, it is the way I took. I'm crazy. Okay, h-pawn. Wow, so Stockfish recommends... Oh, you played castles last time, which isn't that bad, actually. f3. Then I don't remember. You did like knight d7? Yeah, and I played knight d5, df5. I don't remember which knight. I think I actually played this knight to f5. Does that make sense? I don't remember how it went down, but I'm not sure about bishop takes g3. H takes g3. So bishop g4 is the culprit. We should just castle here and try to play. Still, I have some problems getting myself untangled. Wow, the engine actually likes this. Oh, there's something that we missed here. Wow. Queen e5. My assumption would be the king f2 and I'm just like winning. But he has this sick trick. Oh no. Pawn takes pawn, and knight e4 check. Oh my god, it's like Spassky Larson. Larson Spassky. I have to sacrifice my queen or something. Oh, this is perverse. King g1, queen takes g3 check. Bishop g2. Hey, you have at least a draw. Queen f2 check, king h2. Oh man, this is very uncomfortable. Draw. Bishop h3. Triple exclam. That is comfortable for me, right? So it's actually not a question of Muleskinner not doing his homework. He didn't know about this move. Ooh. That is unpleasant. Wow. So what are we going to do? Man, it's like I have to play another move and not play f3. It looks like I have to move my queen. I would prefer queen b3, but queen a4 may threaten b5. That is crazy. So apparently f3 is just bad for me. Good to know. We've really expanded the borders of analysis here in the we've expanded the borders of analysis in the Polish opening. This is exactly the same line, right, Arsenal fan? Savely Tartakover in English. Oh, he was a leading Polish grandmaster. Okay, so Tartakover was Polish. That explains why it's called the Polish. Because of Tartakover. Now we know. Why did I think he was Russian? Because his name is Savely. And the only other Savely I know is Russian. That's why I thought he was Russian. Savely Golubov. Huh. Is Savely a typical name for Polish people? I mean, okay, Tartakover immigrated to France or whatever, but I don't know if I trust Wikipedia. Gladys Troll says Tartakover is Russian. That's what I thought. So I am right. So this whole thing about the Polish being the Polish is, yeah, Polish don't use the first name Savely. So they call it the Polish because of Tartakover, but Tartakover wasn't really Polish. So the whole name is like kind of stupid. Alright, Soltigo, Epithetos. I wanted to play Santa Claus, and then we'll go to the rest of you guys. Santa Claus was here from the beginning. Yeah, Savely, I don't know. Is it a Jewish name or just a Russian name? G4, it's a very rare name. I mean, I've seen like 2 or 3 chess players with that name ever. G4, it's a good good choice. I like playing against G4. This is an interesting moment. Santa Claus played D4, but I like black after bishop G2 97, knight G6 plan. But there was a guy who played C4 against me. Who was it? C4, an American player, pretty strong on here, like a 2100, played C4 against me. I don't remember which guy it was. He hasn't been on the stream in a while, but a pretty strong player here on lichess. They did C4, and I like blindly played knight E7, but it's not as good if the bishop's not on G2 to go knight E7, knight G6, knight H4. So D4, this is a totally random move. Santa Claus is just having fun here. It could, it could be interesting to have like G5 on my F6 knight. Certainly. That's a thought. So take, knight C6. Where's he putting the queen? I think I have to play knight C6. Knight F6 doesn't have the oomph it does, in the normal. Somehow knight F6 just doesn't appeal. Okay, this looks like something I would do in a blitz game when I was completely on tilt. Alright, so C3. Now we could try to calm down the position with like D5. I guess he's going G5. I don't really want to lose the initiative, but G5 could be kind of irritating at some point. Knight F6, anyone? Inducing G5? The problem is after knight F6, G5, knight E4, queen takes D4, D5. I'm threatening bishop C5, but he has... Queen takes g7 kind of stuff. All right. I'm gonna take the pawn, and at least it gives me like a concrete, a concrete game plan. Take the pawn and keep it in. Right. Thus the relationship between Greek and Russian names. Dimitrios. Vasilios. Knight takes c3. I don't know enough history, especially Greek and Russian history. Don't really teach it in American schools too much. Let's see, g5, pinning me down. Now maybe we can go like g6, bishop g7. Try to play a fianchetto type of formation. Because I just don't really see, well, we could try maybe putting the knight on e7, I guess. The fianchetto seems a little more solid, though it does weaken my dark squares a bit. Santa Claus's results have been decent against me lately. He started out with 3 zeros, but then draw, win, draw, loss, loss, win, draw. He's pretty tough. Difficult to say how strong he is. He's up to 2287 now. Seems like he's going up. 2287 on his way to 2500. $22.87 on his way to 2500 by way of 2100. So Tico, does this mean I should play normal today? Like, weird is normal. Normal is weird. Yeah, you're like the opposite of most people. So your normal game is weird? Right. No, yeah, just play normal. Yeah, this is not cool. Like, I don't like h5. But it's still going to be kind of dicey if he tries to go. Pawn takes pawn, knight takes, h5. Could get pretty weird, to say the least. But at least it would bring my pieces out for me. That's the only positive. There's also pawn takes pawn, knight takes bishop g5. We have to consider taking with the bishop on h6, I guess. Which loses like a full tempo. So this looks like a dangerous position for me already. I bet that Santa Claus has done this before. He seems to know what he's doing. I decided to take the pawn against my better judgment, you know, like I don't like to take material and lose the initiative. I think if this was a tournament game, I would take more time here after c3 and probably find a different way to play and decline the pawn. But I thought, oh hell with it, you know, we'll take the pawn. But I already don't like this. White has excellent compensation, even with this really simple move. That guy's got to go. He's got to go. Not a completely unusual maneuver, the knight back to e7 from c6 in the closed Sicilian and stuff like that. I don't want f6 to fall. But objectively, I probably am being too paranoid again. I don't know, if like knight e7, knight f6 check, bishop takes, pawn takes, knight f5. I probably should have considered it a little bit longer before undeveloping here. I just automatically played like the safe move. But now I'm kind of happy I did. I mean, this doesn't look half bad. Instead of trading on e7, maybe he had a different move. Try and keep me bottled up, because my knight on g8 is the problem. I mean, this is the problem here. So can he play a different move? Is there another good move? I'm not sure. We shall see. Maybe Santa Claus getting too creative. I think last week we had a gambit where he had really good compensation as well. My b7 pawn, I'm having flashbacks. Having flashbacks to that pawn being a weak point last week as well. It's kind of strange. At least our king is relatively safe. But this is a good move to challenge my g7b with bishop c3. White has lasting compensation. You know, I feel like I don't even have time for something like maybe c6. That weakens my whole structure. You know, if I wanted to play c6, why didn't I do it in the first place? Or why did I do d6? All right, I don't know. I really have no idea what to do. He has compensation for sacrificed pawn. Really don't know how else to express this. Maybe that move's... Is that move slow? You know, technically. The stupid weak point in my structure. Okay, let's do this before it's too late, I guess. Before I get pinned down. Still has... Oh. Well, that's a good move. Alright, I'm losing my composure here. Unclear what's going on now. Just blundered my c7 pawn. We don't have any threats, really. His queen isn't trapped. I'm threatening a perpetual, I guess. Bishop takes b7, queen takes b2. Just gonna like lose on time. And my A pawn is hanging. Oh man, he stopped me. Wait, he was hanging a piece? What? Where does he come up with these defenses? It's totally unclear what's happening now. What? Oh man, kidding me. Time out. I don't think I'm even better here. I'm actually worse. I am down a pawn, so damn, dude. I mean, it's unclear how strong Santa Claus is. When he first started playing on the stream, I thought, okay, he's like 2100, but I'm starting to think he's even stronger than that. Stronger than we thought, you know. I'm starting to think he might be stronger. Okay, this was a back and forth game. Apparently I was winning. I didn't even realize. Okay, in this moment I could have just taken his bishop, playing for mate, but we both had 6 seconds left. Alright. What am I doing? Going to Gmail. No. Alright, we're gonna play Soltigo. You lost on time? Yeah, that was a weird moment to lose on time. You're like a pawn up. Okay, I have some activity. I wasn't sure. I thought it was like a draw probably. But according to the engine, I'm actually really close to losing. Alright, weird opening today. Yeah, against Soltigo. Well, I want to play e4 and then we'll find some kind of gambit. He'll never play e5, will he? He never plays classical. He always plays... Okay, he did it for me. I think he's just cooperating. We'll play the center game, the center attack. I have a weird idea here I wanted to try. I was looking at this yesterday with one of my students, and like every queen move has been tried. But he won't cooperate. He's sacking a pawn on g7. Alright. I would assume this is an intentional sacrifice. Just be your normal self. One would doubt that this is sound. But there are probably ways for me to lose the initiative. That was a really ridiculous game. I wanted to take your bishop on e4, then I was like, oh my god, my rook is hanging, but I'm like checkmating you with bishop d5. Queen g4 check and taking everything. But we had 6 seconds left. I need to play more fast blitz. I'm saying this a lot this past week, but I need to practice a lot more really fast 5-0. Now I have a mouse that doesn't drop pieces, which is good. I was having this mouse slip problem where I would just drop pieces on halfway to the destination square. So I switched up the mouse. At least that's not happening anymore. I'm kind of getting used to the new mouse. But if I played more 5-0 and ideally 3-0, maybe I'll get fast enough that I don't panic when I have like 6 seconds left. And then I could find a move like queen takes e4. d5, we have lots of good moves. e5, but e5 is not very dynamic. Develop pieces, control the center, and respect king safety. Those are the 3 things you need to know in the opening. That's all you need to know. Obviously, Soltigo puts a lot of stock in king safety. You can see. But I'm just kidding, but he does have respect for development and control the center. But I think Soltigo he takes too many liberties with his king. His king safety needs a little bit shoring up. But maybe I should shut it down with e5 and just be up a pawn. Knight c3 looks more dynamic to me. Santa Claus is not a master. He's just a club player. Okay. Well, we did have a Serbian IM who was here on the stream a lot under different accounts, and it's not out of the realm of possibility that you could be him. An IM or FM, I wasn't 100% sure, but it was a strong player who was frequenting the stream, so I wasn't sure. You could be him. Kind of taking it easy on me or something. D4. Knight D5 or Knight E2. I mean, doesn't Knight D5 just look good? Guys, tomorrow night is subscriber stream. Game analysis. If you guys have some interesting games or just want to analyze like a Grandmaster game, bring a game. Send me the game on lichess. We can go over it tomorrow night, 7 p.m. CET. And what else was I gonna say? Yeah, so two chess events going on that are interesting. Gibraltar and Tata, obviously. Another interesting thing at Gibraltar yesterday, my old friend Elon Schwartz was playing. He's a November 9er. He finished like 4th in the World Series of Poker back in 2008. I think it was 2008. And he played Antipov yesterday in on the black side of a Najdorf, and Antipov sacked a piece unsoundly, and Elon just he didn't like take the piece, which would have just been good for him. Instead, he did like the second best move, and he was still like clearly better. So Antipov is like bluffing, like, you know, a world-class poker player in a chess game, which I thought was kind of ironic, you know. But Elon just overlooked this crushing mating threat that Antipov had, and sacrificing his queen for a mating attack, and lost in like 17 moves. But it's hard to play chess when you don't play regularly, and I'm actually experiencing the same thing. He was a really good blitz player, FIDE master, but if you don't play all the time, it's just so hard. C5. We're going to take that rook, man, I think. Again, I'm not a big materialist, but I've got to believe in rooks. Extra rooks are good. Just don't play f4 if you're me in this situation. His knight's hanging, that's another issue. He just doesn't care. Another... Oh, I could play... I'm having hallucinations, which is bad. Greed is good. Okay, I had bishop h6 check. Maybe I should throw that in first. We can save that for later, though. Sultigo, what are you doing in this game? This is more than 19th century, 18th century style, 19th century style. This This is like 12th century style, where they just invented how the pieces move. Soltigo is just working it out now. They didn't include the castling rule yet. Just no basis for this. I'm not sure. He's just going a little haywire. It is early in the morning for him. Bishop h6 check. There's also queen c7 though. I mean, queen c7 is really... I don't think he has queen h3, does he? As long as he doesn't have queen h3, he made it himself. He is susceptible to that. Purple move. I didn't do a lot of pre-moving. Alright, Soltigo, not your best effort today. I think you weren't ready for that game. Arsenal fan and Ayeste. Let me play Epithetos. We'll have time for at least those 3 games. Probably. I'll guarantee these 3 games and maybe Mind Trick too, but I'm not sure. I have to go at 12:30. Unlucky. There was this guy on my team on Sunday, one of our worst players, and he played like a pretty good game for 70% of the game, and then, but I mean, his opponent played badly and basically lost the piece. Okay, so 70% of the game is over, and the guy, his opponent, the little kid, played badly, and definitely just badly lost a piece. And it was funny, like, so the guy messes it up and draws this totally winning position, allowing a stalemate, and my team was really pissed about it because it cost us the match, and said person was like telling one of the other people, "Oh yeah, my opponent played really, really well." I was just like, what? Like, it's okay to be polite, but I mean, call a spade a spade. I mean, it doesn't help anybody, telling them that they played well when they played badly. I mean, I think Rich is like, what? Good game. Good game, man. Good try, Soltigo. It was a highly risky pre-move. But I was angry. He was like telling this guy, oh, yeah, the kid played really well. I was like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, he just lost a piece in like 17 moves, and then drew with a stalemate, that was so obvious. Like, it was his only possible chance not to lose, and you allowed him to do it. He didn't play well. He like played badly, and then got lucky that you let him do like a 1-move stalemate trick. Let's not make excuses. I was so pissed. Like, our team was undefeated till this match, and worst case scenario, we were like, worst case scenario, the match was a draw, but this game like made us lose. Soltigo, I don't know what happened, man. That was a little over the top. Epithetos here. I was supposed to play an unusual opening, and I got distracted again. Started worrying about playing enough games. Sorry about that, guys. We've got Arsenal fan and Ayeste, and I'm not going to be able to play chess or Epist. We just don't have time. I don't know if I might not probably get to even the challenge against Mind Trick. Actually, Mind Trick is a new account. Oh, and it's rated. All right. Anyway, last 2 games against Arsenal fan and Ayeste. So Mind Trick, next time, come by, challenge me to casual. Tomorrow night we'll be back with a subscriber stream. Do I have any tricks here like bishop g5? I have queen d5 check, but that drops too much. Dropping too much material. But we do have... What do we have, actually? It's kind of confusing me. Queen d5 check, king h8, knight g5. He just takes on d6, and it's not that simple. Knight takes e8 was my original plan. There's should be some kind of forced win here, but I don't see it. Smithers, where is the forced win? Okay, no, my Mr. Burns needs a little work. Okay, f5. Bishop g5, he just goes somewhere. Like queen b6. I might be able to win the exchange with bishop g5. Then again, like maybe this pawn is dropping at some point. I almost... Oh no. Queen b6, queen d5 check. Okay. Yes. Bishop g5 is a good move. Alright, bishop g5 is a good move, but it still doesn't win. Shit. It's a good move, but it's not that clear either. Man. Okay, we're just better. I don't know that there's a forced win here. That's a mistake. I guess you have to play knight f6 now. I was saying like he should go with his queen, but oh, he has queen a5. I miss everything, basically. He's defending the d5 square. Alright, well, we basically just have to reanalyze this again. We could even play bishop d2. Knight takes e8. Rook takes e8. Okay. I guess this was my original plan on queen moves. Do I have better? Yep, most likely. I'm getting confused. PM is a good title. Queen d5 check just wins, right? No. It's not that simple. I mean, he plays king h8, and I can't play knight f7 check. Dude, man, because he takes, and I take, and he takes on e4. Now, there may be something there, but I thought that's not good enough. No, queen d5 doesn't just win. It might win, but it's not that obvious, you know. I think this way I'm winning an exchange, probably. At the very least, an exchange. Plus he's tied up. But we'll take a look after the game. Okay, I said I probably won't get to the game with... Oh no, I closed the other challenge because it was rated. Okay guys, tomorrow night, subscriber stream. Knight g5 in between. Not one of my stronger moves. Knight g5 in between. Well, I'm sure that bishop g5 is like one of the better moves. Maybe not the best move. You want to play queen d5 check, king h8, knight g5, knight takes d6. There's nothing there. So I don't see anything with queen d5 per se. Now I have to consider taking on c8 and taking on d7. It actually looks pretty good. We win an exchange that way as well, with bonus material. It sounds like a magazine subscription. Well, I'm helping him develop his pieces ultimately, like knight takes c8, rook takes c8, queen takes d7, rook e8, bishop d5, knight d4, bishop takes e6 check, Am I wasting time? You know, it's better to go here, right? Why take on c8? Yesterday you studied the ready idea, the Reti idea in king and pawn in games. I thought you were talking about the opening at first. Okay, that's not going anywhere. Knight on d4 not going anywhere. But the problem is, if I play like e3, maybe it's better to do like bishop e3. e3, king f8, say. My knight is hanging. No, he'll lose a piece anyway. Well, e3, h6. That's good as well. I have the in-between move knight takes c8, so there's no king h8 or king f8 to try to lift my knight on d6. There is that move, but it just loses a piece, right? Okay, Apathetos is lost. He lost his lunch here. The opening was bad. I mean, you just can't do that. Allow the big hold on d5. It's really bad. But I will take a moment to go over this quickly. Well, I'm up a piece. I'm up a rook. He'll have a strong center for his rook in said variation. Maybe I should play this. Just activating. I'll end up like losing 2 pawns for the price of 1 here or something. But it's alright. So yeah, I play e5. The stream needs to live up to the name of Unusual Openings. Yeah, I messed up. I forgot this game, I'm sorry. We got distracted. I was just trying to make sure we got enough games, and I started thinking about how many games were left and trying to rush, you know, to get more games in, and then I forgot to play an Unusual Opening again. I have early onset Alzheimer's. Very early onset. All right. But the last 2 games, I swear we're going to play Unusual Openings. Someone is. You have my absolute word on it. Apathetos is going to have a strong center for the rook. Nothing I can do about it. He doesn't want to unpin himself. It's crazy. It's kind of irritating to find like waiting moves here while I don't take the extra rook. But he doesn't have a way to get out of the pin now, other than king f8, I guess. Which I thought he should have played something like king f8 in any case. I guess he's just trying to confuse me as much as possible. It's working. It's definitely working. Well, if I could get the d4 pawn, that would make it much easier. Natural, rookie 2. Soltigo spent all night preparing an opening, only go wrong on move 2. I surprised you with d4. We successfully traded his bishop, which is massive, because then this pawn becomes weak. Plus, there are just less pieces for me to mess up here. He cannot protect this pawn. Maybe queen d8 or queen d6. Queen d... No, he didn't do it. Alright, we're out of the woods. We're just up a rook now. Without the scary center. It sounds like a new kind of candy. There's rook takes e6 check. You gotta like that. Man, we're gonna be running late today. That's alright. Two unusual openings against Arsenal fan and Ayeste. Alright. I'm black. What did you say? Arsenal fan? You made a comment. Hopefully Slaji will play e5 against me. Oh, you knew you were going to be white. How did you know that? How do you know you're going to be white in advance of the game? Because I was white last time in the simul game. I guess I was white the last two. So that's a good chance that you're right. Hopefully I'll play e5. I kind of felt bad because I sort of guilted. Let's play the knight c6. This is a very rare move. I guilted Soltigo into... There's the Alzheimer's again. Guilted Soltigo. I can't remember what I was thinking 5 seconds ago. What was I talking about? Guilted Soltigo into playing e5, I think. Because I was like, e4. Oh, maybe he'll play e5. He said he blundered on move 2, but he never plays e5. So I kind of felt like he did it just because he felt like I wanted him to do that. Now I feel bad about it. Right. And then here... Yeah, we had some interesting analysis on this. Bishop c5. Oh, but wait a minute now. Wait, so d5 was what we were saying, right? d5, knight, like pawn takes pawn, queen takes pawn. Is that the right position? d5 here, take, knight there, queen e6. Yeah, that's dangerous though. Why is the Falkbeer counter gambit bad? It's not. That's the thing, dude. Well, okay. Like, this is technically the Falkbeer counter gambit. But when white takes on d5, a lot of top players are taking on f4. Okay? When I play e takes f4, it's technically not the Falkbeer counter gambit anymore. It's just like a delayed or deferred queen's gambit accepted. And a lot of top players are playing that. You know, and I think that's quite good for black. But, you know, the really Falkbeer main lines with like d5, pawn takes pawn, e4, I also don't think are bad. They're just like unclear, you know. I think that white might be slightly better. So the delayed accepted is good, but the Falkbeer main lines. I'm getting confused again. What's the deal with this? Obviously, knight takes e5. What did I expect him to play here, actually? Okay, so we were analyzing... so I was analyzing f takes e5, knight takes e5, c3 last week, and talking about that. But Arsene just takes on e5 with a knight. So what's the deal with this? Oh. Knight takes e5, d4, bishop takes d4, queen takes d4, queen h4 check. Like what? What is up with that? Alright, I think I have to take. If he tries to play d4, it looks like bishop takes d4. I've never analyzed this. Maybe this is what he was excited about. Nakafan says knight e5. What? Knight e5, queen h4. Wait, queen h4 for me here? I can't play queen h4 here, can I? I mean, he just plays at g3. Okay, I don't know. I mean, unless you have queen e7, which isn't out of the realm of possibility. Is it possible to play queen h4 check, g3, queen e7? That might actually be a good line for black. But I'm not certain by any stretch of the imagination. You just go like knight c3 or something. So now I figured bishop takes d4 and queen h4 check. But maybe we can just play bishop takes d4 and d6. I'm so sorry, guys. But what does bishop takes d4 and d6 do? Wait, there's bishop g4. I'm totally crazy. Oh my god. Bishop g4. Yeah, this doesn't look right, does it? But is bishop g4 a good move? Yeah. Alright. Bishop g4 is illegal. Oh man, that's so embarrassing. I wanted to play bishop g4. Yeah, that would be a strong move. The worst hallucination I've had in a while. Alright, I was thinking about d6 and I started getting excited about bishop g4. Not in this position. Queen h4 check, g3. d6 is interesting. Maybe d6 right away, allowing him to take on c5 and we don't have that many candidate moves. d6, queen h4 check, bishop takes d4. Queen h4 check. Then he has to move his king to like d1. With that position, I'm completely confused about. Queen h4 check, king d1. Queen g4 check. Alright, I'm about to run out of time, so I don't know. I guess he's analyzed this previously. Yeah, Soltigo, but he doesn't play g3. That's what I'm worried about. What is it, like a... Is it possible this is a draw by rep or something? Queen h4 check, king d1, queen g4 check, king e1. Because if queen... but actually my knight's hanging with check, so this could get really chaos. You like this, Soltigo. I just don't know what the best move is. I can't believe I was hallucinating I had bishop g4. So that's the problem. Your mind goes down some path where... What happened? Wow, he kind of freaked here with this move. Played g3 and just dropped a piece. I don't think he has any compensation now. Arsenal just... You're not the only one who made weird hallucinations here. I was trying to play an illegal move a moment ago. Well, I didn't actually try to play it, but I wanted to play it. So he doesn't have any compensation, just a piece down. Maybe the f pawn and the e pawn, I'll like visually give him some hope. I want to see after the game quickly, you know, what the truth was. The strange thing is that okay, there have been some relatively recent games, but knight c6 against the King's Gambit in particular is a variation that for some reason, although fully playable, has been very infrequently played and analyzed until recently. When I played it in a game against Manea as black, I just played it because I thought, hey, this is weird, you know. There's almost no analysis on this move. You know, here we are in the 21st century, and this basic move against the King's Gambit, there's only like 100 games in the database, and the engine says it's okay for black, you know. So that's weird. There are some strange places in certain openings where pretty logical moves haven't been very deeply analyzed. So chess openings are not dead yet. But now I can play d5. Let's just castle first. It's like an Evans Gambit where he's down a piece. I like this idea. I thought something like Queen h5 was interesting there. If Arsenal fan had a little more time, he could have kept some pressure. But he's playing way too fast for this time control. Okay, now maybe it's the best thing to do, because he dropped a piece. Sometimes it's better. Okay, with the increment, it's almost hopeless though. In sudden death, you should definitely try to flag your opponent. Although in increment, I'm not sure. It might be best to just really try to find the best move. Or maybe like unexpected moves would be the best approach. You know, sit there, take a little time, and try to find a move that the guy with no time, you know, would not expect. Surprising moves, strange moves that aren't really on the horizon. We will consolidate this. I've got one more game left against Ayeste. But I'm a little bit late today. Right. Yeah. In the middle game, the Clash Kid says about how in school, you know, kids would always take on f7 like that. Yeah, this is kind of a typical thing. This protects h6 here. The thing is in the middle game, right? I mean, the two minor pieces are actually stronger than a rook. In endgame situations, I think the opposite becomes true. All right. I'm going to sacrifice a piece back here. Maybe it's the wrong decision. But I have a really strong two pieces for a rook. Two pieces and pawn for a rook. Arsenal did try to play a surprising move there, but it unfortunately loses a very important pawn. I just want to see what the truth was in the opening, you know? Has this position ever been reached? With like bishop takes d4? Even c4, he's being cagey and tricky. There's no check on d8. I thought you should have waited till I put my bishop on d7 or something, but I guess it wouldn't really make a difference. Because either way, I just take on c5. I think Arsenal's been playing a lot of bullet again. All right, analysis board. I'm just interested in the opening, and we got to play the last game. I mentioned d5 last stream or last week. This is a really unexplored position. It's unbelievable that there's not a single master game here. d5 is a playable line. f5 is like main line. This is an old line, but it's odd that, you know, 4 games here and a lot of historical games. We have to look in ChessBase. As I said earlier, there's like a Najdorf game from a million years ago, like c3 here for white. That's interesting. There's a lot of theory that just hasn't been explored. So normally f takes e, but the computer likes knight takes e5, so maybe Arsenal fan had prepared this. Naka fan mentioned queen h4 check. It's probably best to just do queen e7 straight away. This looks like it may be critical. Just kind of Petrov-y idea, like knight takes c6, queen takes e4 check, and white has nothing. So it looks like this is like key line, and we sack a pawn or something. I don't know that this is really sound, but it reminds me of the 4 knight, like not 4 knights, but the weird Petrov kind of 4 knights lines. Just totally unexplored territory here. So knight takes e5 was new to me. I played this, and he plays d4, and I don't know. Like, I'll bet you $100 that if I look in ChessBase, pre-rating era, there will be master games in this position, but somehow there's 0 modern games that have ever been played here. This is fascinating position. Bishop takes d4. It's possible bishop b6. I didn't see this being very good. You know, I don't understand where my compensation is here. So I think this is absolutely forced. And this position is critical. Queen h4 check. I didn't see queen f2. Okay, after queen f2, white has a better ending with bishop pair for nothing. I was concerned about king d1, but I have apparently knight g4. I was going to play like queen g4. I thought I could take here, but I forgot his rook is protecting g1. So this is also highly unpleasant, but at least my g7 pawn is protected. Totally new territory in the opening. Okay, ahí está. Yeah, Arsenal fan, I figured you prepped it because I had been talking about this last week, you know. I thought there was a good chance that you would know, that I would know, that, you know, I would play this line because we just looked at it. It got mentioned like 2 times in last week's stream, I think. G3. Alright, last game for today. How do you play Weird against G3? You turn into Kamran Shirazi and start gambling. Against Zoltan Medved, Indic played c4, e5, g3, h5 a couple weeks ago. I was impressed. That 26 plus player would go to that extreme. But this is a little different because Medved played c4, and this is more like a Pierce rather than an English, so maybe it's not quite the same. But in any case, it's similar. Indic is a weird player. Serbian, I mentioned it because he's also Serbian, like Ayasta. He played one game against Glidora where he lost, and he had more time than he started with at the end of the game when he lost, which I thought was not really good time management for a professional player. But maybe he was just on tilt because he lost a bunch of games in the beginning of the tournament. I'm going to give my bishop a retreat square here on a7. So the strategy remains the same from this English line I was talking about for black. We go caveman style and we play f5, and we try to question white's whole existence, I guess. White's playing the hippo. We're playing the Shirazi / Indic defense to the English opening. This is the way to open lines. All right, develop pieces, I think, here. This is not my usual style, but for Weird Wednesday, it's perfect. You can do h5 against any fianchetto. I mean, it's always normal to attack the fianchetto with an h-pawn rush, but doing it so early. I think I first saw Shirazi do it in a blitz game where white did like... Now, how was it? I guess Shirazi was white, and I saw him play e4, g6, h4. Pretty much the same thing with an extra tempo. But if you look at old games from... If you look at games from 100 years ago, you know, or even earlier in the late 1800s, you'll probably find some... You probably find some aggressive masters who were playing this type of style. You had a game, Nakafan, d4, knight f6, c4. Oh, the Grunfeld, yeah, okay. The Grunfeld, that h4 move is like a specialty variation. There have been some games on a very high level in that. I mean, they're always looking for... Strong players are always looking for new ideas. I mean, especially in theoretical openings like the Grunfeld, where almost everything has been tried. You know, like Nadanian started playing knight a4 on move 5 at one point. I mean, it's hard to come up with new ideas in that opening. I called him Nadanian. Probably it's Nadanian. All right. Queen d2. Guess we're castling queenside. Ayesta here really taking his time about committing his king as well, which is probably smart. His knight on e4 is pissing me off. But we don't have that much time to fool around. I mean, I guess I'll just play d5, d4, or wait and see. How important is the G file here? It's a bit difficult to come up with a plan. A5 even, interesting. But he's pretty flexible. Oh man, I don't know. I mean, I don't like d5, knight g5, to be honest with you guys. There's almost no way to think of a good continuation there. Knight c8 is a weird maneuver. I'm just not sure how the heck I'm supposed to continue here. Looks like white has a lot of good ideas. Maybe f4. Okay, I don't know. I'm just gonna think about the position in terms of pawn structure. Rook f8, perhaps the f file is something. Not so easy to come up with a plan. Guys, sorry, I've got to go as soon as this game is over. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing here on Twitch. Check out the YouTube channel where I upload the videos, video chess training on YouTube. Tomorrow night is our subscriber stream. Thanks to Soltigo for watching, for moderating, and thanks to you guys for watching. Also, if you can support the stream with donations via PayPal, it helps. We need to buy a new mouse. I had a nice donation at the beginning of the year from one guy, and I'd really like to thank you guys, all of you who have donated via PayPal. But we've got a temporary replacement for the mouse, so that's okay for now. What else? That's about all the news there is for today. I'm going to get out of here. That knight g5 is an amazing idea. I'm actually thinking of bringing the bishop back to g8. But there are some problems for me strategically here. I might be making the wrong decision. Maybe instead of bishop e6, I should have gone with a different move. All right, it's okay. The rook here is not bad. It's fighting for the f file. I thought if he tries to play f4, I can go against e3. But I might have some problems now. Look at white's coordination. It's like perfect. Queen on d2, bishop on b2, knight on e2, bishop on g2, knight on g5. It's like a masterclass on coordination of pieces. This move doesn't make sense. Why did he retreat? Like, his pieces are perfect. Even f4 looks strong for white here. Because my rooks are unconnected, this rook is unprotected. Oh, this is a really, really needless move, knight f3, that kind of ruins his position to some extent. He's trying to stop me from d5, but he should be thinking like about moving forward, not retreating. It was a big, big mistake. That said, it still doesn't look like it's that easy for me to gain the upper hand here. Man, it's a tough day. Knight d5, fine, doesn't do anything. And pressure's e3, but I have no threats, and no real plan, I would say. Knight Orf by Kasparov. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, Kasparov gets excited about chess. Naturally. But Knight f3, oh man, I think I was on the verge of being in serious trouble after f4. I mean, this just looks... I did it to myself by putting this bishop on g8 and leaving my rooks unprotected. I have no counterplay after that. I don't even know what I'm going to do there. Maybe like rook f6 or some incredibly awkward move. Now he went back. Of course. He should have never left in the first place. But now what to do? Again, I'm sort of stuck. Maybe we can attack the knight on g5. Rook h5. Rook h5. Well, there's not a lot of time, so... My point is that he can't play f4 anymore because of the knight on d5, bishop on a7. So now, I don't know, he has to play e4 or something, which is really awkward. Next plan, I have no clue. What's our plan now? That's the thing about this anti-positional type of pawn break with h5, I guess. Leaves us in a kind of suspicious position structurally. I really don't know what to do. I'm practically making random moves now. Bishop b6. Just wanted to probe the dark squares. I thought about a5. Yeah, this is an automatic move anyway. I don't want him to play b4. Bishop b6 was a waste of time. It actually takes away a retreat square for my knight. That might have been useful. Now he can do like c4 maybe. Of course it's double-edged. Right. Now the knight a4 is annoying. I guess this is lesser of the evils. We've got something now. How much? I don't know. Probably I should go to, I should have gone to e6 instead of f7. Still not that clear. Feels like I'm playing chess 960. Man, he's ahead on time. We've got e4 ideas. c4, e4. He could threaten mate in 1 with queen e4, but I think we can parry that threat. So we're actually winning now. But it was a messy game. I think he was even better. Around here. Yeah, I think this is about the best his position got. And according to Stockfish, he can play like f4, and he's slightly better. Alright guys, I have to go. Thanks for watching. We are going to be back tomorrow night with a subscriber stream at 7 p.m. Anyway, interesting and fun game, Ayeste. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.